I do hope that you now understand the kind of things that China Square has, what they're selling, the prices, and are they good quality? Yes. Do I recommend it? Yes. I'm really waiting to see how it'll be, especially when KRA puts the new import tax levies and how it'll be affected, how the prices would definitely change for sure. I was busy doing, just reading about importing, China Square being closed on 26th February and then they reopened on 6th March, and just trying to understand what is this chaos and what is this that the government is doing. An article on businessdailyafrica.com, and I want to show you guys what it says. KRA to tax small traders per product, which is not the case if you are informed about the importing process. Normally we are taxed per kg. It's like a pool of goods. You are weighed, there's a certain price we pay for that, and then tax is there based on the pool of goods we've brought in. The taxman plans to start opening containers to compute taxes item by item in a shift that will hit small traders who import in a pool and who are paying taxes per kilogram. That is going to be crazy expensive. Taxes from small traders, and therefore they will unbundle the goods with individual traders expected to pay taxes for each item they ship into the country. So it's just the way you maybe buy your items from Carrefour or a restaurant and you're going to see their VAT 16%. It looks like that's what they're trying to do. So they're saying it means that items which end up in open air markets such as Gikomba and Nyamakima will now attract import duties, VAT, excise duty, import declaration levy, and railway development levy. Wow. Talk about an amazing government, guys. Amazing government. So this will increase the cost of consolidated cargo, which at the moment attracts a duty of 200 shillings per kilogram for air, or 2.2 million for a 40-foot container. So this comes at a time traders are already dealing with the high cost of imports driven by the weakening of the shilling. The shift is one of the measures through which the administration of President Ruto will be hoping to unlock billions of shillings in tax revenues, as it targets to collect as much as 3 trillion in the upcoming financial year. Small traders now start paying import duty ranging from 0% for raw materials to 10% for immediate goods and 25% for finished products. The bulk of small trader imports finished products from China and Dubai, which means they will be slapped with a higher tariff of 25%. Except for a few exempted goods, they will also pay 16% VAT. Imports also attract, guys, let me tell you my thoughts when I read this article. I understand that the government is trying to collect more taxes. Well, we get it. However, what I'm not getting is they think by making importing more expensive, we will reduce importing. That is really not solving the issue at hand, because you making importing expensive doesn't mean people will stop importing, doesn't mean the shilling will get stronger, doesn't mean you've actually helped the economy. Guys, welcome to an ONR masterclass, because I got so passionate, and while I was editing this video I just felt the need to show you guys some slides and just explain what I was going through when I read that article. So basically I came up with a few slides, and slide number 1 is saying, why is the government of Kenya making imports very expensive? Obviously to reduce imports and exports ratio. So basically we have a trade imbalance in Kenya, therefore them increasing the price of imports will hopefully in their heads reduce the amount of imports we are going to do. Then our exports can be slightly higher so that we can appreciate the shilling, because right now the imports are so high, guys, that the shilling is depreciating because we have a demand for foreign currencies. 2, another reason I'm thinking they're making imports expensive is to acquire more taxes from citizens. I mean, even from the article, they've said they'll, receive 3.3, as much as 3 trillion in the upcoming financial year. They really want to collect new taxes. One of the reasons as well is to subtly wage war on China Square. Why did I put this there? Well, guys, if they're going to increase import taxes and levies and duties, what is going to happen is China Square will also be subjected to these costs. And as much as they were super affordable, as I'm shooting this video, they might not be as affordable going forward. Because when you import things into the country, you are paying for like a container, right? It didn't matter how much goods were in that container. But then right now, I'm imagining China Square will have to say, okay, I've imported this amount of electronics. Then the government says, give us 25% out of each of them. So you will literally be paying VAT and all these things. So it's crazy because now the prices will no longer be the same. Finally, I would think they are doing this to balance out imports into the country. And I mean to balance out in terms of the prices, right? If they do that, then all people who import into the country will be faced with these charges. So it doesn't matter if you're importing a container, if you're importing less items, if you're importing finished, like basically it's going to balance out every single import that comes into the country. Now, I pose this question. Will this grow the country's economy? Will this hurt the consumer? And will this help the business owner? So I'd like you guys to comment down below your thoughts. Please just share your thoughts as you're watching this video right now. Just tell me what you think. Will this help the e-commerce business owner selling finished imported products? Because currently, apart from cars, because they're cars that are assembled in the country, most of the things that are imported into the country are finished imported products. And as you guys have seen, there's a possibility of you paying an import tariff of 25%. Hilarious. But anyway, I don't think this will help the business owner, because as a business owner, you will have to foot those costs. You will eventually have to mark up your price, then sell to the consumer who might not even be able to pay. Guys, can you imagine? Because don't forget, it's not like salaries have increased as much as the taxes have increased in the country. Most people who are in employment, most people who are working, the salaries oftentimes stay the same with a very small increment. Yet the taxes in the country are going up and up every other time. So the business owner might actually find it difficult at first to sell. The business owner and the consumer will eventually adjust, but at the beginning it's going to be difficult because now you're trying to convince a consumer to pay this whole amount. Are the government measures favorable? Well, no, they're not, because these guys, the problem in the country is we are importing a lot, right? Them making imports expensive is basically making the problem more expensive, right? The problem is importing. So let's just make the problem more expensive so that it can somehow vanish. Guys, that's how the government thinks, which is so mad, because how does that actually remove the problem? Like, it does not. It does not remove the problem. What they really need to understand is, if people are importing this much and our imports are increasing every year, that should tell the government that there is clearly a need not being met in the country. We all have varying desires. We all have varying needs and wants, right? And if I don't find that industry in my country, if I don't find that resource in my country, I choose to import, right? So that should tell them that the problem is not the imports being so high. It's the fact that there are no industries, manufacturing plants in the country for the consumer to go like, okay, why am I importing a mug? There's a mug company right here. I can buy my mug in Kenya. Have you ever seen someone import cement? Why the hell would you import cement? You wouldn't, because there's so many cement manufacturing plants in the country. There's Simba cement, there's Rhino cement, there's I don't know what cement. So why the hell would you import cement? But then that's the thing, we'll import laptops, we are going to import, machines and all these things because they don't exist in the country. You guys get what I mean, right? So they're just making it more expensive for us to get things, yet they haven't really done anything on ground. Anyway, I'm ranting now. Let's continue. Will this hurt the consumer? Yes. Guys, let me tell you, things will be expensive, let alone inflation in the country. Things are going to be expensive. And I think people need to realize that, like right now. The way we used to say, oh my gosh, I remember Blue Band used to be this much. I remember the dollar to shilling was this much. Yeah, because that time they never used to import as much as we do now. We have become very knowledgeable consumers. People are aware, thanks to social media, of what exists out there. So yes, thank you, government, for making our life very hard. Things are gonna be expensive, guys. We will have to pay more to acquire some goods, and yeah, I guess that's going to be our reality, honestly. Finally, I asked what is the solution. I've already kind of hinted what the solution would be, and I've already said is the government really needs to do better, guys. Can you imagine 10 years down the line, we still maybe don't have manufacturing plants, we still don't have some industries, then they keep increasing the taxes, then they keep making the problem more expensive. Can you imagine in the next 10 years the dollar to shilling, guys? We'll be saying the dollar is 500 bob. Like, I'm serious, because they're really not doing a long-term view to the problem. They're doing a very short-sighted view to the problem. They're like, you know what, let's just do this, let's just collect taxes. And that's something I've also even mentioned down there, that they will claim that this strategy of increasing taxes will allow them to set up the resources, to set up manufacturing plants or producers in the country. But then even with the current resources that they've been having, they have really not considered that for the country. Only few industries have actually grown in our country. And I gave an example with the cement industry, right? So my fear is this is going to be a cycle that will just keep hurting us as a country. But I don't know, guys. Let's wait and see. Let's just wait and see. Well, guys, you either have to adjust the inflated prices, right, that will exist on imported goods, or better yet, learn how to import on your own to acquire goods at more affordable prices. But also another thing that I thought about was maybe learn how to make the products that you want that are not in the country. It might not be easy, obviously, but you might actually be one of the people setting up industries in the country. So we might as well need to consider that. For current business owners, especially business owners who particularly have focused on selling finished products or goods that they've imported, like I said, guys, in my previous video, you will have to build a brand, okay? And a brand is built through a community, a story, and a sort of oneness of your product. Always think about iPhones, because that's one brand that has really been sold. Like, guys, even Kenyans have that thing for iPhones, and yet the iPhone brand is not even a Kenyan brand, it's an American brand. So you can see how that loyalty and that sense of community has been pushed all over the world, that right now if you don't have an iPhone, it's like, what phone are you using? That kind of thing. So yeah, guys, I'm thinking that's what we're gonna do. I hope this session has enlightened you of where the country is headed, and I hope you've learned a thing or two. If they really wanted to help the economy of the country and reduce the dying shilling right now, they should start actually investing in think tanks, like my B calls them. People who would come up with ideas of what we should do as a country. What manufacturing plants can we have? What industries can we start investing in for us to actually bring this, like create these goods in our country, so that we don't see the need of importing in the first place? Because let me tell you, me being a business owner in the country and a consumer at the same time, prefer importing, because the industries are really not set up to fit the narrative that I have of what I want to sell or what I want in my house. So for me, making the imports expensive, very short-term thinking in my opinion. I see what Ruto's administration is doing, I guess, trying to pay for the roads, trying to reduce our debt, trying to collect taxes in all ways possible. But I hope he sees that he's hurting the market, he's hurting the consumers. People will be bled empty in this administration. Like, yo.